Let's bring in some experts to talk about that. Mark Fuhrman's with us, former detective with the LAPD, knows as good as anybody how to break this stuff down and if any clues were dropped or balls dropped. John Ianarelli is also here, retired FBI special agent and former FBI national spokesperson. Let's start with you, if I can, Mark. Mark, you saw this situation. People like to look back that never worked a case before like you have and said, how could they miss these signs? I actually don't think that's the case here. Do you?
No, I don't. There's many times when somebody does drop the ball, maybe multiple times, but this is not one of them. In fact, I think they went way out of their way when they contacted her at 1:42 in the morning to actually contact her father. 39-year-old females that are obviously in control of their faculties are not missing. She knows where she is. She's driving her vehicle. She knows what she's doing, and she can leave anytime she wants. So I don't believe they did anything wrong.
John, as you see somebody, this is not usually, we don't usually see females. No history of violence. She had her gun legally. She was stopped. She was found sleeping in her car hours before the shooting. Do you see any signs that I would miss because I haven't been trained?
Absolutely not. The police made an inquiry, and just like Mark said, to actually pick up the phone and call the family on somebody who is clearly an adult to reassure them that she's okay. Likewise, if the family had any knowledge, including of the weapon, I have not heard a word about that to yet.
Yeah, a couple of things, Mark. My sense is watching these videos, hearing that she was protesting in February about YouTube taking her stuff down, randomly shooting. I sense the family knows a lot more about how unhinged this shooter was. Do you get that sense?
I do. I think the family knows a lot, and like maybe many families that have problems with somebody inside of their family, they want to keep that close to the vest and maybe not express their fears, and that's exactly the problem. Nobody really knew what her mental state was, and she was obviously not in a good mental state. She tried to commit multiple homicides, and then she killed herself.
John, do you take anything? Do you look into the family a little bit more? After the Pulse shooting, after the San Bernardino shooting, you say, okay, who are they? How did they get here? Who are they related to? And because they are the family, what did come here as refugees. Do you want to see? Do you want to know more about this case? Or do you sense this is just one woman who lost her mind and is now dead?
Regardless of where the family comes from, this is a case where police and law enforcement in general is going to look into everybody who's connected with this person. Violent crimes were committed. We want to know, are there other people that maybe supplied the weapon, knew what her intentions were, or even egged her on? All that has to be determined.
All right, I got to ask you something else, and tap into your security knowledge. At Fox, after 9/11, I used to be able to walk in every door here. Now I cannot get in this building without a pass, even though I've been on television for 20 years. Just the way it works. Here is YouTube, one of the most popular companies in the country and the most successful. Why is this person allowed to penetrate that deep? Where's the security? Did that occur to you at all? Because I'm telling you right now, I don't want anyone to challenge it, but we have layers of security here. So does CNN, so do others. Don't you think people got to wake up a little, Mark?
Well, YouTube certainly had security personnel, but they did not have a way of stopping this person from getting through the garage. The reality is that they need to secure that area for these types of events in the future because it could happen again.
Mark?
Sometimes security is just that visible security. It's one layer at the front door, a front desk, a security officer. But then you need multi-layers of security, starting with outside of the parking structure, video surveillance, people outside, people inside the inner workings of the building. So most corporations have kind of a visible security. They do not have deep security.
All right, and lastly, when I look at this woman, and I understand that the family tried to give everybody a heads up, but it was too late. How do you possibly legislate mental health and gun ownership? She had the gun legally. Clearly, she's not mentally stable. She thought that YouTube was personally going after her. There's a paranoia here. Does anyone want to take a shot at that? John?
Well, You can make all the gun laws you want, but the reality is in this country, we're ignoring the mental health issue. In every one of these cases, that's been a common factor, and we need to address that. We need to be able to make those records available when background checks are done so that we can prevent people who are mentally ill from having access to weapons.
And Mark, I don't know if there's a way to stop that unless the family really wants to get aggressive and said, I have a hunch, she's never showed violent tendencies before, but I think we got to take the gun away personally. I mean, I actually don't know how you stop this.
Well, Brian, you have hundreds of thousands of people that have tried to commit suicide, that threaten suicide, and one of the ways that makes suicide so devastating is when they want to take multiple people with them and then commit suicide. So we already know, and we have had for decades known through psychiatry and different programs, the people that are suicide prone and have attempted, and we really can't do anything with them. We can't incarcerate them permanently. We've lost that ability, so really there's not a whole lot you can do.
Yeah, where we were looking at the school and where the balls were dropped and where we go from here, I think that this is a narrative buster. Guys, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.